There's a new feature on YouTube called Stories. So if you're using your mobile to watch these sort of videos, if you scroll down, you'll see a little sequence that looks like this. They're just basically short clips from people that you're subscribed to and channels that you're subscribed to. I think it's brilliant. I'm going to start using it more and more just to show you sort of either behind the scenes stuff and maybe just some bits and pieces that go on whilst you're watching a game as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have clicked the bell button, whatever it might be. And then when you do that, then you just get to see silly, stupid stuff like this. I've got to show you this. I'm more excited about this than perhaps I should be. All right? Before the keyboard was on here, I have made, look at that. Huh? Very, 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 very pleased with myself. Anyway, today's video, I'm going to hold off on the Lingard thing because there's so much to be said, and I think we're going to end up talking about it quite a lot. But the obvious thing to me seems to be that Man United have got something that we want in Jesse Lingard, and maybe we've got something that Manchester United want in Declan Rice. So I think there's a lot of time to really have a look at this and talk about it, particularly bearing in mind the loan and the permanent deal and all that sort of thing. However, not for today, I don't think, because today is a match day. And as you'll notice, I haven't got my black and white shirt on. I'm not dressed in Fulham today. I'm dressed up as a West Ham, rightly so. I think today is a massive day. They're all massive games now. Thank God, right? Because, let's be fair, if they weren't, then it means the season's fizzled out. We're over the halfway point now. So, the fact that every game might be a cup final is a good thing. I had this a lot before the Liverpool game and noticed a few Liverpool fans saying, this is West Ham, this is their cup final. Yes, good. We're not currently at the level where we can't be bothered by such by fixtures. We're not in the Champions League or anything like that. So it's very, very important. So very much Crystal Palace was a cup final for the reasons that we had a chance to go fourth. And as Akabusi pointed out, we grasped the nettle, we took the opportunity and we went fourth. Granted, a dip against Liverpool. However, against Aston Villa, we had another chance to cement our place and stay above some amazingly big and successful football clubs, which we still are. By the way, I should probably say I saw Chelsea play Tottenham. Chelsea won. I wasn't overly impressed, I've got to say. I know Tottenham were worse. However, I know a lot of these clubs have got better players. However, at the moment, we seem to be playing better on a consistent basis than a lot of these other teams. So now is another cup final in many respects, but it's a cup final against Fulham, which sounds familiar. What is important is that we treat this one very, very seriously, and I think we will. This is not something that I look back on and think that David Moyes won't take this seriously, because I do think we're a different outfit now. I do think that we do have a different set of values in terms of going into these games, and no longer do we go into a lot of fixtures thinking, this one's going to be easy. You get the impression that Moyes and his backroom staff, and by the way, I don't know what it is, but I think Stuart Pearce is not getting an awful lot of the love. I think I'm guilty for that a little bit as well. I talk particularly about Paul Nevin and his set piece I'm really impressed with. We know Alan Irvine took over when Moisey had the old coronavirus. And of course, Kevin Nolan is always barking instructions from the sidelines. But Pearce, I think, is probably pivotal behind the scenes. I just wonder how much he has played in particular in Soufal. Not only being a good fullback, but being a bit feisty. Being a bit saucy, if you like. So anyway, I can't even remember what I was going on about, but it's about Fulham, about this being a cup final, and about us taking this seriously. And because of that backroom team, I do feel that they're not going to let the players go out on the pitch and be complacent. Not at all. But it's hard for us to believe. It's hard for us to adjust. However, often after games, I'll say something like, take our midfield, Rice and Souček, as good as anyone. So if we are worried that somebody's going to come in and pinch Declan Rice for 70 million quid, if we're also worried that maybe, just maybe, Souček is probably the best goal-scoring central midfielder in the league, I discount attacking midfielders, and as Gio pointed out, Bruno Fernandes takes penalties anyway. If he is that player, if he is somebody that's going to attract interest from some of the biggest clubs in Europe, then we have to accept that actually our midfield is very good. If one of our midfielders is worth 70 million and the other one's worth 60, 70 million, then do we not have a world-class midfield? It would have to be close. So if you're going to believe that we have a world-class midfield, then it's really difficult not to look at the Fulham game and think, well, actually, we can beat them in that area. I'm not going to say we've got a world-class defence, but as a unit, I think they bat above their average, let's say. But certainly when you look at Soufal and you look at Dawson and you look at Ogbonna, that partnership in a sense there, and Aaron Krauser at left-back, it's a formidable defensive line, and there's a lot of promise in that. And there's a lot of things that you look at that and you think, yeah, okay, I fancy that defence up against most teams. Well, if you do that, and by its very nature, if you're rating that defence highly and what they've done this season, and all of those four players have all been really, really good, then sort of almost by default, you have to fancy that defence would shut up Mitrovic and Lookman and the other one, whoever it is. I don't know. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I've honestly forgotten who the other one might be. And then you look at this attacking lineup. Now, we don't know who's going to play, but I think you can probably safely assume that Jesse Lingard will play. I think it's safe to assume that Benrahma will play, and I think the same applies to Antonio. What's going to happen on that right side, the right wing, or whatever position Ryan Fredericks might have played? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. But it could be anyone. It could be Fredericks. I would imagine it won't be. Who's likely afterwards? Bowen, probably. Yarmolenko's a shout. There's no reason why Fornals can't play over on that side. By the way, he's right-footed. And, of course, let's not forget Lanzini. There are options to play over there. But if you look, forget that position for one moment, if you will. But if you just look at how Benrahma, how Lingard, and how Antonio played in the game against Aston Villa, if you look at actually the way Benrahma is really starting to come into exceptionally good form, then it's really hard not to think that we won't cause Fulham's defence problems. And if you do all of that, then you've really got to start thinking, well, hold on a second, we should be beating this team. And I only say that because I took a little look at Fulham's performances recently. I don't mean the results, I mean the performances. They've been getting good possession. They've been doing a lot of things really, really well. But this would be, I only highlight these points because this is a very traditionally West Ham game for us to lose. We can lose this game. Traditionally, we lose these games. But, so it's hard. It's hard to be cocky. It's hard to feel cocky. It's hard to feel confident. We don't naturally have that disposition. I guess that's what it's like being a Manchester United fan, for instance, historically. Going into every game expecting to win and dominate, and knowing that every facet, every department of your team, be it midfield, be it attack, be it defence, is better than the opposition's. This is a weird thing for West Ham, but we are going into one of those games now. I don't know. I think Fulham don't have a player that would get into our team. Is that fair? I think that might be fair. If their best player is Anguissa in central midfield, is he booting Declan Rice or Souček out the team? I would imagine not. Can't see it happening, really. So just by default, we have to think that we're going to go in there and we're going to beat them. And if we do, and we should, then we're going to have to look at the league. I keep looking at the league. Looking at the league's a funny thing. I keep looking at the league and then not wanted to because I find it a little bit odd, a little bit scary. And I almost feel, this is a bit superstitious of me actually, I almost feel like I got punished for looking at the league ahead of the Liverpool game and dreaming. So, no, right, won't do that again. But you have to look at it. Sorry, I had to edit that in. I started going on about some rant about how Man City are playing Man United this weekend. It's not. So I'm going to edit that out and just cut the bit where I was halfway through my sentence and realised actually it was Liverpool, which is the point and why it's pertinent. We're playing against Fulham. We win and Liverpool lose. We go above them. By every definition, they are our rivals in this game. And can Liverpool lose? Well, yes, they're playing Manchester City. Manchester United don't play Manchester City. Liverpool play Manchester City. You wouldn't bet against Manchester City. Can Liverpool beat them? Yeah, absolutely they can. They've still got some world-class players in their team. But you still look at City and think, well, actually, they have more world-class players available to them at the moment and probably a bigger squad. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility. In fact, it's highly likely that Manchester City win this game. If they do, and we win, and against Fulham, we go up, we go above them. Here's the crazy thing. Beat Fulham and beat Sheffield United, then we could be in third. Granted, games in hand, blah, 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 blah. But these are strange old times. I don't know how many games would be left after that. What, 15 or something? 14? I don't know. There ain't loads. You're starting to get towards the end of the season. You are only looking at about 3 months of football or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, then, I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is this game against Fulham today is massively important. It is a cup final. A lot hinges on it. Clearly, we've got a cup game in between, which we've got to take care of, and we've got to look at that. It'd be interesting to see how some people's attitudes might have changed because we are in this lofty position. But taking Fulham seriously doesn't necessarily mean that we don't take Manchester United in the cup seriously. Really interesting times. I expect and hope for an emphatic win today. If we can get the goals early, then I think, as I predicted, a 2-0 for this one. I'm hoping we get the goals early and it's at 2-0 and we can make substitutions. Maybe doesn't. Maybe he keeps his foot on the pedal and goes for it. But you'd think he would take Antonio off. You'd think he would do at least that. Lingard, well, Lingard won't be available for Man United game anyway. So I guess we know he's going to play. Exciting build-up for the day. I'm looking forward to it. We will see you, what's it, 5:30 kickoff. We will see you at 4:25 for the build-up. Juicy. Can't wait.